So just gonna do this quick live. Just gonna do this quick live stream to give some updates on the expedition. So I'm gonna share my screen here in just a bit, and to provide those details. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so I'm just going to read these emails and then go over some stuff regarding disinformation that's being put out by this network that's stalking and harassing me, that's trying to undermine the goals of the expedition and things of this nature. So I'm just going to read this, these email exchanges between myself and the U.S. Department of State to refute their disinformation. So first, I'll just get started here. Reading here, dear Mr. Wider, thanks for completing the DS4131 form with the information you have so far. However, in order for us to move forward with the U.S. government advance notification process, you will need to have reached tentative agreements with an operator or operators to provide vessel and helicopter support for your planned expedition and with tentative dates for the expedition. The information in the DS4131 form should then reflect that agreement. Please also note that entry permits into ASPA 172 Blood Falls and Lower Taylor Glacier, as well as other ASPAs in the McMurdo Dry Valleys, are only granted for scientific studies to achieve objectives that can only be conducted within that ASPA. A bit more background: different governments have different policies on whether they authorize expeditions or provide advance notification. And with activities in Antarctica, require permits for that government. Perhaps as a result, not all tour operators offer helicopter services in Antarctica. To save time, you may wish to contact the International Association of Antarctic Tour Operators to inquire which operators might be able and willing to provide vessel and helicopter support for a private expedition to the McMurdo Dry Valleys, and then reach out to those operators. Best regards. You can see, Gene Preston at the U.S. Department of State. So, I responded to that email, right? And this is just to give updates on the expedition itself and to refute the disinformation spins that are coming out from the network on part of their spokes people like Robato's son, Stephen Adams, and whoever else, whichever agents in their network are attempting to discredit this expedition and my message. I'm showing this as proof to refute those claims that this expedition is not happening or impossible or the permits are impossible, right? So I'll continue on with these emails. So I responded, right? Dear Miss Preston, thank you for your feedback on the completed DS4131 form and for the additional background on the advance notification process. I appreciate the clarification on the need for tentative agreements with operators and the requirements for ASPA entry permits. I have revised the form to reflect a more science-based focus for the expedition. The primary objective is to conduct non-invasive observations of the unique microbial ecosystems and iron oxide discharges at Blood Falls, ASPA 172, studying how life persists in extreme environments. This could provide insights into extremophile resilience under harsh conditions, symbolically mirroring survival in brutal environments. These observations can only be achieved on site in this unique location using methods such as field notes, photography, and environmental data logging. Uh, okay, so I go on here, right? Um, okay, so then Miss Preston replied, uh, "Dear Mr. Wider, thank you for your reply and for the updated DS4131 form. I see that you are now proposing to spend 10 days in ASPA 172 so we can understand your current concept for the expedition. Are you planning on having a helicopter take your group back to the vessel each evening after a day of scientific observations, or are you planning to overnight on the continent? We at the U.S. Department, we at the State Department will not be able to formally start processing the DS 4131, that is, referring it to EPA and NSF so they can begin their review of the initial environmental evaluation and any needed permit application until you have agreement in principle from an operator or operators that they will provide the needed vessel and helicopter support for the expedition, including the operator's contact information, the precise planned dates when the vessel would depart and return to Christchurch for your group's expedition, and the dates the helicopter would take your group to and from the vessel to the McMurdo Dry Valleys. We will verify with operators or an operator that they plan to provide the support described in DS 4131. Okay, so in the DS 4131 form, rather. So, okay, so here's the rest of the email if you wish to pause and read through this. So, okay. Um, then I responded, let me see here. Thank you. Yeah, dear Miss Preston, thank you for your email and for the helpful clarification on the requirements. To directly answer your question, yes, we are planning to overnight on the continent for the full 10 days in ASPA 172 Taylor Valley, Blood Falls area. The group will camp on site to conduct the non invasive scientific observations of the microbial ecosystems and the iron oxide discharges as described in the revised DS 4131. We will not be returning to the vessel each evening. Okay, so, you can read the rest of that. Okay, so anyhow, this is just to give an update on what's going on, with the expedition itself, right? Because there's a lot of disinformation from the, you know, uh, stalking network and the people harassing me and threatening me and all this stuff that they're claiming that this is that this that the process to even get the permits is impossible, right? Especially from one particular channel named Roboto Son. He keeps claiming that it's impossible for me to even get the Antarctic specially protected the ASPA 172, right? Permit because my expedition can't meet scientific criteria needed to obtain that permit. So now I'm gonna, you know, refute that with logic, right? Um, so I want to put something on the public ledger right now, yeah, because Robato's son and the network keep claiming my ASPA 172 permit is impossible because I'm not doing real science, quote unquote. That claim is false, and the U.S. Department of State's own emails prove it. Gene Preston and the Foreign Affairs Office handling Antarctic affairs at the State Department has been actively guiding me through the exact process She has never said the permit is impossible. She has never rejected my science based framing. In her emails, she accepts that my expedition involves non invasive observations of the unique microbial and ecosystems and iron oxide discharges at Blood Falls in ASPA Zone 172. Observations that can only be conducted on site in that protected zone. She is helping me complete the DS 4131 advance notification form. She has given me specific instructions on what details to include once I have tentative agreements with vessel and helicopter operators. She has told me she will refer the complete package to the EPA for the initial environmental evaluation and to the NSF for any required Antarctic Conservation Act permits. The only thing she is waiting on is confirmed logistical support, vessel and helicopter operators' dates, and contact information. That is exactly what I am working on right now by contacting IAATO recommended operators like Scenic and Oceanwide. So when Roboto Sun says the NSF will only issue permits to expeditions doing actual hard science, and your reason for going there is BS, quote unquote, he is directly contradicting the U.S. Department of State's own guidance. Jean Preston is not laughing me off. Jean is not telling me to go away. You know, they are treating. I'm being treated at that. Actually, this is a legitimate, private, non-governmental scientific expedition, and they are helping walk me through the standard process. So the permit is not impossible. The process is open. I just have to secure the operators, which is what I'm doing. This is the same network that has been trying to sabotage every single step. GCH Aviation went silent the moment I posted the call, right? Or the email, rather, exchange back on March 16th. And now the commercial all the other operators, right, the commercial operators, right, they've gone silent as well after I've reached out to them. So they don't want you to see the official channel is still open. They don't want you to believe the door is, or they don't want you to see that the official channel is still open. Rather, they want you to believe the door is already slammed shut. So this is an update to the ledger. The expedition is still moving forward. They can keep lying all they want. The State Department's own emails show the truth. So, yeah, anyways, just doing this live stream is an update as to, what's going on with the expedition and to just provide those updates on the situation of this scientific, non-governmental expedition that's being planned to the McMurdo Dry Valleys for the 2026-2027 Austral summer season. So pretty much the network right now is in the process of trying to sabotage all operators that I could go through for helicopter support. This is how the gang stalking network runs their smear campaigns. They're calling up all these companies and they're smearing my good name. They're falsely accusing me of being every horrible thing in the book, right? So they can sabotage this plan. This network. They are criminals, right? And they are stalkers, right? Dangerous stalkers that try to ruin people's lives, and they are in the process right now of trying to destroy my life and ruin my plans. They don't want the target to be able to travel freely. They don't want the target to have any freedoms, right? And that's why they're working overtime to try to undermine my credibility and destroy this expedition by sabotaging it, by calling up these different companies that offer helicopter and ship support in the Ross Sea region of Antarctica and lying on me, smear campaigning me to these companies so they can try to destroy this expedition. So I'm, doing this video today to just refute them and call them out and just give a general update on what's going on with the expedition to ASPA Zone 172.